Aloha. I wanted to do a follow-up from my last video in reference to the New Age. I come at it from a more of a lighter perspective. This started out as a video to my goddaughters and all her little friends because this is important, and the last video was focused on the younger generation who put all of their effort, their energy, their focus in these little New Age individuals in these big groups like the Disclosure Project and the Secret Documentary and all these basically spiritual tools. And this video grew into an idea. I wrote some things down here I'm going to read in a second. But this grew into the observation of what's called spiritual appropriation. So we can understand cultural appropriation, but how I was observing in creating this video right now before I'm doing it, I was seeing that just as in cultural appropriation exists because the individuals who are culturally appropriating that system have no culture themselves. So just like in the New Age, the New Age community is basically built up of all these new so-called new versions of reality which aren't new at all. So it's basically a spiritual appropriation when you understand that the indigenous and the aboriginal people who are already here in this earth plane have already understood and made connections to the stars, have already understood sacred geometry in relations to the pyramids and all these sacred sites, have already understood the connections to nature and spirit. All this stuff is ancient. There is nothing new. So to have yourself call yourself as the New Age should already be setting off alarms to take a look at what we're really talking about here. So the different factions that exist within how we observe the so-called New Age and the love and light, what I'm calling now a PSYOP, is how these various individuals and groups of people are affecting different individuals and sucking their focus, sucking their energy in to a version of reality that is not their own. So this foundation of the New Age is already uprooted. If you are calling yourself new, then you are already starting off on the wrong foot. So this spiritual appropriation exists because there has been it can only exist and be so vibrant because people have been so separated from their own culture. They've been so separated from themselves and true connections. So in that separation program, this storyline or this group, this energy has slid into the forefront of what supposed change is supposed to look like, and it's just been amplified by the television, social media. It wouldn't even be able to exist without social media and YouTube and all this stuff that's out there. This is why this stuff is existing right now, because we are making it exist. And there's also individuals who are on the other side of the storyline who are pushing it to be brighter than it is. So you got David Icke, who's been around since the 70s, talking about the reptilians and the government, and now only a few weeks ago talking about we did it with Brexit. What the fuck do you mean we did it? So you're talking about reptilians in the government agencies, and you want to celebrate something like that? Automatic red flag right there. You got individuals like that, you have groups that are all over the place, and you also have these documentaries that create anchors in spaces. You have these ideas and these so-called people who are in the scene, like I said in the last video, or the video before last. Actually it was the last video. We watch these movies and you see the good guy and the bad guy, and one of the new trends is to have good guys within the bad system. That's another anchor point to get you believing in this system, to get you believing that this program is okay, that it'll fix itself. that is just a PSYOP. That is just to make you think that the system is okay and that there are secret people within the system who are going to take it down and are going to fix it. No, that's not what is, that's not the program. That is the illusion. That is a straight up illusion. And these movies set it up. So you have all these Cobra, David Wilcock, Corey Goode, all these so-called, what's that radio talk show guy, George Norrie, who actually appears on Ancient Aliens. All these individuals, these are bridges. So when you have it on the History Channel and you have Ancient Aliens, you're bridging ancient information and the New Age stuff, and that makes the New Age more real. And then you believe in these individuals who are on here because you've heard them on like George Norrie and other stations, and you've seen them, and then you hear them say similar things like Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra, who's appeared on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah, and then done this whole thing in Masterclass, locks that in with the celebrities, and you believe, oh, even the celebrities are changing too because they're in with Oprah and they must have talked to Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra. So your brain, your subconscious fills the gaps that get created, and then you make these connections between Stephen Greer and the FBI and the CIA and the secret space program and the alien agenda and the underground whatever and the Area 51s. You close all these gaps with all these documentaries by hoping and praying that this stuff is going to change. And then your education, which is your entertainment, your busy mode mentality, also fills in the storyline blanks and creates a foundation. And with on top of this foundation, you build an entire culture, which is called the New Age, and it's an illusion. You build an entire a practice and an entire mentality for individuals, and as long as you have a way for these individuals to play it back and forth to each other, then that will make it more real. And this has been going on for years and years and years. And then all of these other individuals like who are talking about specific things like Dr. Masaru Emoto and Dolores Cannon and whoever else is on the outskirts of the mainstream media, this information just gets played and pinged on certain time frames, and the individuals make their perspective more real, and they create their own world within a world. And the Hope program allows it to keep going on. So it's no different than another Savior program. So you have all these individuals in this so-called Galactic Federation of Light. Yeah, all these storylines that are behind the scene talking about, listening to David Wilcock and Corey Goode do radio show, talk shows, and listen to him talk to Michael Tellinger in Africa doing Ubuntu. You believe this shit because these people are talking, they're using, just like they have to mix in some of the good with the bad, and all of it's a giant distraction because none of this is new. None of it. It's all old. So you have these individuals who are playing these storylines over and over and over again, having you waiting and waiting and waiting, watching Independence Day with the aliens and the transhumanism agenda and all that garbage out there, making you believe like this is going to be our future. Our future is in the stars. And following the whole NASA agenda. This is inventing a new culture, inventing a new version of experiencing your reality. And the whole invention exists in order to throw the ancient people and the stories, the ancient people under the bus, the actual events that have been perpetrated by the destructive intelligence to be forgotten about and brushed under the rug of love and light. And then everybody is just supposed to exist in this world of love and light. And then when you have these so-called professors and investigators and archaeologists and ancient whatevers mixing in the old stuff with the so-called new stuff, which is largely just a plant, an investigatory plant, then people believe it, and then you close those gaps. So there's various layers. People who have been sucked into the Oprah program or that style of information, they really believe her. People really believe in, like, Beyonce, really believe in Rosario Dawson, really believe in Susan Sarandon, really believe in all these superhero characters that are on these movies, because subconsciously we've been programmed to trust that. And not to mention, we've been programmed to trust certain individuals. This is the way they look, the way they speak. This is just like the English accent on all your documentaries. The English accent is a plant. It makes you believe a certain way. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus makes you trust individuals a certain way and think about certain things, and then don't think about other things. So this is the New Age love and light PSYOP that's being perpetrated, and people are falling into it. And the younger generation has no culture. They have nothing to grab onto, because their parents and then their grandparents have either ran away from their culture or been caught up in religion. They have nothing to grab onto, no spirit at all. So no nothing. So this is new information, and it makes sense. Just like for me, when I went into the New Age in a few years ago, and then I was just like, oh, sacred geometry, I can feel crystals, these spaces, I can feel all that stuff is anchored with some kind of truth. And then once you get into that frame of thought of seeing the trends, then you can realize, wait a second, something's off here. These are just tools. These are just things. This is not who I am. This is not who we are. This is another storyline that is being played in order to tell another storyline, just like on a television show or a movie. So I just wanted to put this out here real quick and then read this off. Just a few things that I would tell to the younger generation, to let them know from my own experience of having gone through the New Age. And yeah, so first off, nothing is new. Everything has an origin that is beyond what they're telling you this is about. Pretty much just stay away from it. Use your discernment. Look at it, take the information for what it is, and then don't fall into any kind of like traps about, this is your life, or this is who you are. Utilize it for what it is, and then keep moving and go into your roots. I'm just gonna read this because it's pretty. I don't want to expand too much on it. The people mostly only have half a perspective at best, and haven't looked into or understood their darkness. So if you exist only in love and light, then you don't understand the fear and the darkness. So you are existing only in half of your reality. If you keep repeating those patterns, then then there's something missing there, and in that missing, that's a big problem. That's where these implants come in. So it's hopeless. It's inherently hopeless in that it's no different to hope for aliens, disclosure from a government than to hope for another savior. So the essence of the New Age and the disclosure agenda is to wait on the government to give you information. The essence of the New Age community is to wait for aliens or extraterrestrials to come down and do something for you. That in that basis is a separation from your true understanding of who you are, and a maximum understanding of your potential in this moment right now. And what this whole story is about is to keep your head out in the stars and separate yourself from the roots. So the old paradigm was about destroying your root chakra, destroying your sacral chakra, destroying your willpower and your solar plexus. And the new paradigm is to amplify your 10% versions of understanding your higher chakras with the New Age agenda and the love and light PSYOP, and get you completely uprooted and locked into another shallow version of reality. Never you couldn't lock into your roots in the old school program because it was either taboo or they destroyed all the information in the history books, which is what is actually happening. And in the new style, they're just downloading new information, so-called new information, but it's just artificial information to get you locked into another version of reality that is not your own. So these gaps in your reality leave openings for parasitic energies to take shape. And it's an extension of the false ego. So when you have so many gaps because you don't understand darkness as a whole, you don't understand what happened to your culture and the genetic codes and the indigenous people, when you don't understand that stuff, you are subconsciously creating gaps in your reality and inherently amplifying your false ego. And then other people who are watching you do that are going to repeat that pattern because it's all a false paradigm anyway. Channeled information, if you're going to look into channeled information, check it out, but always know that the information has to go through no less than 2 filters before it gets to your ears. And you already have a direct connection to source that is pure. You already have that potential to get that information from your source that is pure. When it goes through a channel, that channeler has to pick up a channel, and you don't know what kind of channel is coming through. They don't even know what kind of channel is coming through. They hear this information, and mostly they're not even there in that space. So they can say all this love and light and all this other stuff. But like I said in previous videos, if they're telling you 99% of some information that resonates with you, and that 1% that they're not telling you about is of a destructive intelligence root, then it really doesn't matter about that 99% of other stuff, because you are still getting some information that is not for you. That's what I said. It has to go through those 2 filters: the individual body, the actual antenna filter, the person, and the channel. And that could be a whole bunch of different versions, a whole bunch of different people or energies. You never know. So it lacks a connection to the Most High in that it only truly worships itself and the physical reality. So it does it by not going into the depths of the roots of what happened here with the actual human story. It says it is by having all these other alien versions of the stories, but it's actually not looking at the other story, like all of the stories. It takes this version from Eric Von Daniken and just says, that's my reality. Or it takes this version from Ancient Aliens and says, oh, that's my reality. That they're creating a theoretical history for you. And then since you have 10 different versions of reality, you have no real anchor points. You just allow it to be. And then you create, and then that's all based upon aliens, technology, and this artificial version of your reality. And then if they slyly, like the Ancient Aliens at 99th percentile, like I said, they tell you all this information, and in that 1%, in that one episode I mentioned in a few videos back, that one time they said, and you can go on their website and check it out, transhumanism, merging man with technology, is the next evolutionary step. This is on Ancient Aliens. This is what they are telling you. So they have an agenda. There is an agenda with why Eckhart Tolle and Deepak Chopra are on Oprah and all this shit, and having Monsanto in Oprah's magazine and all that other shit that's going on. This is of a destructive intelligence. There is an intent behind Stephen Greer and all those government officials who are talking about we're out here to share information, the real stuff about. Give me a fucking break. There's more information out there than this alien agenda stuff that's being pumped out. But they say that this is all that is. This is all you need to focus on. This is all you need to worry about. Either get caught up in yourself in the present moment. This is that whole guru thing and that whole get caught up in that space. These are all tools to get you back to yourself. But the intention, the way they're calibrated is to lock you into a reality. And that reality is called the New Age world, or the New Age agenda, or the love and light, pretty much PSYOP. It is inherently apathetic in that it rationalizes hardships of the rest of the world and those people or their reality. So all of these little programs that they utilize in finding the present moment and being the creator of your reality and being connected to all that is. If you're connected to all that is, why the fuck you ain't saying anything about Libya? Why the hell you ain't saying nothing about Syria or the anything that's going on with boots on the ground? I guess that's not part of all that is it? So no, that's just their reality. They're creating that reality, and it'll change soon. Just keep waiting. Like this whole shit, it's a program. It's a program to keep people dormant. It promotes oneness, but its action is based upon separation. So that whole apathetic version of reality is separate in itself. Those are those people doing their reality, and it'll change. What do you mean it'll change? How are you any different than the so-called them? You're not. We're the same. We're living this same storyline in this physical reality. So their story matters. You can't rationalize people and blood out of your storyline and then say, oh, it's oneness. We're all oneness. Things will change. We're shifting into a new dimension and all this other stuff. It's a little more complicated than that commercial as government cheese version of expanding consciousness is getting pumped out by that damn New Age agenda. They want to get you caught up in this star nations, this galactic federation of light idea of reality. This ain't nothing but another savior mentality. It's like they're gonna come down, just keep waiting. They're gonna come down, and then not even realizing that they've been trying to reverse engineer this stuff and playing with holograms and all this other shit to make people believe anything. The movies are being played out on the streets. This is what Trump is. He's an extension of an old movie. And once they finish playing this political movie, then they're going to move into the sci-fi movie, which is the alien agenda. So its essence is mostly focused on the tools of the physical reality rather than emptying itself of its false self to fill itself up with the connection to the Most High. So instead of truly connecting organically, naturally, indigenously to your connection to the Most High from the roots to the fruits, then it actually fills its space with crystals and meditation and yoga and all of these distractions that are just tools to get you closer to yourself, which if you stay on that process will get you closer to the Most High. But these rest stops, these tools and these tool bags, they take precedence over that journey because the fiat currency system still exists and people have to validate trying to make money off of that system, and they create this culture called the New Age. So they create this version of reality, and it just takes the essence out of the magic. It hits a ceiling. You're hitting walls. You're not going any further than what the system of separation will allow you to do. It's not meant to grow. It's not meant to change. It's meant to polish and crystallize what you have already, what got you there. Once you get out of that darkness space of destroying yourself, using the destructive intelligence to destroy yourself, then you get into a reality where you can start healing yourself. And that's why I mentioned in the last video, it's like it's a hospital for you to heal yourself, but you're not meant to live in that hospital. That is just a rest area, excuse me, for you to go and stay there. If you are meant to be a crystal, then you would be a crystal. You are an actual, you're deeper than a human being. You're utilizing this energy right now. But when people get locked into the new age, they lock themselves into, oh, I'm a unicorn, or I'm a mermaid, or I'm a crystal, or I'm a this, or I'm a that. Like, what are you doing? Like, what movie are you playing for yourself? Why are you all that extra stuff? Why are you not just you? Who are you? Oh, I'm an artistic unicorn. Okay. After that crystallization is complete, you have to move on. You are not a crystal. You have to keep going on. You have to keep expanding. And once you crystallize yourself in that new age world, then people get locked in and they start wire wrapping themselves and making themselves all pretty. It's like, oh yeah, I'm like a super mega awake crystal now. Like now I have 30 crystals attached to me. It's just a further crystallization. You're fluid, you're fire, you're earth, you're spirit, you're all of this stuff. You're not just the physical version of reality. You're not a space, you're not this UFO spaceship only in the physical reality. Is deeper than that. And the individuals who have lived and died in this reality already understood that. And if you rationalize the descendants of those people as those people and their reality that they've chosen to experience, that's the most fucked up thing you can do. And that's normal in that so-called New Age community. Just as you must not confuse sex or lust for love or connection, do not confuse crystallization for the ongoing expansion of your soul journey. Do not get caught up in these shallow ass realities, these comfortable ass versions of how you these are these crystal glasses, these colorful glasses that are just making you see through a different version of filter. In the old paradigm, people were looking through destructive glasses and seeing everything, destroying themselves and seeing everything from a fearful survival mentality, destructive mentality. And now you get into the new age, everything is crystals and glitter and unicorn farts and all kinds of shit. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just another version of extreme. These individuals, this destructive intelligence is based upon dividing and conquering you. The old paradigm is based on fear. So if people are unveiling that the old paradigm exists and is based on fear, please believe that the new paradigm will be based upon love, or the idea of love. And that's what this new age space is all about. And we're going to meet our star nations and our star people and whatever story they're going to play with these UFOs and this alien agenda. It'll be a mixture of both fear and love, because they have individuals who are vibrating on all of those scales and in between. Practice discernment and never give your power away to anything or anybody. That's basically it. Please just practice discernment and never give your power away. Never externalize your power into any kind of thing, any group, any other individuals, anything like that. You were born as your maximum fire. You will always have that fire. It exists within you. It doesn't exist within anybody else. People and tools will help you realize that by reflecting that fire back to you. But this is a constant journey until you can't journey anymore. You will always be expanding. So that's basically it. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.